All right, I'm live. Okay. The reason I went live is because I'm I don't want to not post a video. And what I mean by that is like the video that I talked about with um when I cleared the energy field for my friend, the fellow clairvoyant, it is taking me forever to edit because as I watched that video, it was really it's hard to tell when you're doing the Zoom, like, how each person's volume is, and the volume on her end was way louder than mine, and, I was like, "Oh, shoot, now I gotta figure out how to change the audio levels on my audio track," and so it's taking a lot longer, and I wanted to post a video anyway, and the reason I thought of this today was because I was feeling super anxious. And it wasn't about like the videos or anything like that, but it was more about like the business aspect of wanting to create content and wanting to create a spiritual business like for my energy healing and for inspiring other light workers to actually pursue their passions. um, I have so many things on my list of things to do and, like everything from email lists to website to, just so many things, right? Like writing email copy, like, um, my instructor, from the last class I took wants us to do a 12-week offer, like to create a 12-week offer to present to our email list. And I'm like, okay, that's a lot of work. So I'm like, like the perfectionist in me is like, okay, we gotta make something good. And of course I want it to be good because I want it to be worthy of whoever I present it to. And the reason for this video is the anxiety all of this stuff is causing. Like, last week, I had to work a lot, right? Because you gotta keep the lights on, right? Um, but I have so much to do, and then I was meditating today. I don't know if you saw my little picture of my little shaman meditating with me, um, but I was meditating to just say, "Okay, I'm gonna write a little list of a short list of probably the couple priorities I have for today, and I'm gonna meditate and see what I should focus on for real, for real. Like, what does my spirit really want to focus on for today?" And it was like, "Okay, let me kinda see where my chakras are," and I was like, I'm so overwhelmed with things to do that I realized I'm like, "Oh, I bet you my crown chakra is like, like way too open." So I'm like, "All right, let's kinda dial that back down." And I realized, okay, I am not doing a lot of my rituals. I'm kinda just going for it and just I'm not checking in with some of my, like, spiritual practices with like, where are my chakras? Like, where are they? You don't want them all wide open. It just, you want some harmony. And so I realized, okay, I'm trying to be too perfect with certain things. And that's not the approach I've been taking to this channel or my business. It's like just go do stuff. Do it, put it out there. And whether you fail, whether you make mistakes, like, it doesn't matter because that's gonna be everybody's path anyway, and that's what I wanna model, that you can pursue your passion imperfectly. It doesn't have to be, like, everything on schedule, everything perfectly edited, everything perfectly packaged, and that's partly why I show up on these videos looking like this, like no makeup, I'm the t-shirt psychic, because if I was gonna put the effort in to dressing up and putting makeup on before these videos, I'd never do any videos. I'm too lazy for that, and I gotta keep it plain, because I don't know about you, I see a lot of these, um how would you say, like, I see a lot of the online marketing, and yes, obviously, when I launch a full-on thing, I'm not gonna look like this. I'm gonna kinda get a little bit, more presentable, but, um, a lot of times I look at stuff. For example, I was looking at LinkedIn marketing late last year and kind of into this year, and I started following this one, LinkedIn guru, and she was great. Like, she is great, it's just as I kinda put that on the back burner, I kinda just kept getting some of her stuff come into my inbox, like typical email marketing, just kinda gradually looking at stuff here and there. The more I looked at her stuff, I'm like, she kinda drives me nuts because everything is, like, full on glam production, and to me, it's just so not relatable. I am never gonna be I'm never gonna be getting up in a video with a frickin' ball gown. Never gonna happen. Never. I mean, like I said, the point of this is the anxiety all of these expectations create for us. And I'm just inviting you to just remember to stay in your own lane. If that's not you, don't make it become you. Don't ever force yourself to be something that you're not just because everybody else is doing it. And I'm just really trying to model that like, hey, I could not get that video edited. I finally got her permission, by the way. I got her permission to post it, but it takes so much editing. It's like so like the volume is so like ugh. Like, I wouldn't wanna listen to it the way that like, the volume was so off, so I do wanna fix it, and I do wanna put it out there. It's not gonna be edited to the extreme, but I just have to work on the volume. Um, but, like, back to, like, the whole anxiety and a million things to do, because when you 'cause what I think my audience really is like those beginning light workers, or maybe even just light workers who haven't gotten that traction yet to really take off to the point where, "Hey, man, I can do this for a living instead of my job." And what's what I think is valuable is just realizing there's always gonna be a ton of shit to do, a ton. But at some point, I do believe at some point I'm gonna start getting my workflows down. I am currently seeking mentorship in certain, um, aspects of the business, like the YouTube and the, email marketing, platform type mentorship, like, really specific to YouTube, really specific to possibly creating a community, membership thing, I don't know. Um, but at some point, I'm gonna get my workflows down, but in the beginning, everyone, it's just gonna be messy. It's gonna be stressful. Like, today, I didn't get up until 10 o'clock. I was dead tired, like, in my specialty of nursing, a lot of times we're leaving for work, depending where you are, 3:30, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. We are already in our cars or we are already punched in. And on my days off, just like I'm sure you guys, I don't wanna wake up early. I don't wanna wake up early. I do that enough. But at the same time, it's like you only have so many days off and you wanna get a lot done, and then that's where all my anxiety kicked in today. I was like, "Oh, oh my god, what do I focus on? What do I prioritize today?" And then the list just kept getting longer and longer and longer, and I'm like, stop, stop, stop." I'm like, "Okay, what I'm gonna do today is just focus on emailing emailing my list, getting some sessions scheduled. That's it." And I'm not saying that that's all I'm gonna do today, but my invitation to you is to just pick something small and do it. Because I know when you create a mountain of a to-do list, that is just way too much inertia to get over. At least with something small, you can get that momentum going. You can overcome that inertia much easier. And that's what I'm going to do today because I can't do everything today. It's already after 2 o'clock on a Saturday, and I am overwhelmed. I've been avoiding using that word because I know that that word creates a lot of stress and tension in my body. So that's also a reminder, an invitation for you to pay attention to what words you're frequently using because they create emotions. So I try to avoid that word. So um, one of the favorite ways I like to reframe being overwhelmed is I like to say, "My cup runneth over," and that's it. That's all that's happening today. My cup runneth over, and it really is true. Like, it's something you take for granted that you actually have the ability to have all these options, and sometimes these options are overwhelming. So, you know, I'm gonna just be grateful that I have the opportunity to create an email list, and I have the opportunity to post on YouTube, and I have the opportunity to create a business, and I'm not living in a country that censors us overly. It doesn't censor us. It doesn't limit what we can do, what we can create. It doesn't limit our education. Um, you know, we take these things for granted as Americans, and, you know, I'm gonna be grateful that my cup runneth over because it really, really does. Um, so just anytime you're feeling anxious, just realize it's because you got just so many things you're juggling, so many things you're thinking about, kinda, like, close down that crown chakra a little bit, kinda harmonize your crown and your third eye because you just got too much whirling around there, too much, too much. So, that really becomes a good time to meditate and to just slow down because you don't have to crank it out where it's like stress, stress, stress. That's a very like masculine approach to things, which I have been guilty of, and it has its time and place. But when you are feeling anxious, it's time to more step back into your feminine and just be more receptive for guidance and just kind of nurturing yourself and just being gentle with what you have the capacity to do in any given day because it's going to change from day to day. And there's nothing wrong with that. Give yourself a little grace. It's at least you're out there, at least you're trying. And not every day is gonna look perfect. Not every day you're gonna come, um, bring the best version of yourself, but you gotta do it anyway. You gotta do it anyway because somebody out there somebody out there needs to hear you. Somebody does, because all the somebodies out there, I can't reach. My message won't reach them because I'm not their vibe, but you are, and don't ever forget that. You need to persist through these moments of anxiety and these moments of overwhelm. And if you have to take a break, take a break. So what? Just take a break. The world's not going to end. Just don't stay on a really long break. So again, let me wrap up with the well, no, I'm not going to wrap up. I'm going to summarize the approach that I'm going to take, and I'm going to suggest for you is just pick like just one small thing that you can do, one small thing that you can do today, and even say to yourself, I'm going to do it in a crappy imperfect way. And but before you know it, it actually turns out pretty good, and you'd never discover that until you get going. So just get going, just start. And as soon as I click off, I'm gonna get that little list together that I need to email. I'm gonna send the emails out, and maybe later today I'll check back in and let you know how my anxiety how my anxiety resolved itself. Um, but seriously, guys, you gotta remember anxiety is gonna happen. It's just don't let it stop you. Don't let it stop you dead in your tracks. And just let me normalize this for you. We all feel anxiety. And that's the other reason why I wanted to make this video, is because I didn't want to put out all this content that made it look like, oh, she knows exactly what she's doing. Oh yeah, she's done this before. That's why. Oh, this is different for her. Of course it's easy for you. It ain't fucking easy, man. Okay? So that's why I'm making this video. I just want you to see that everybody puts out this perfect image of themselves and not as much authenticity or vulnerability in their messages. And like, you're never going to see me like plastered makeup on and like I know my eyelashes. I know sometimes I look at the videos and I'm like, where are my eyelashes? But um like, I want you to know you don't have to be freaking gorgeous to make these videos, you or to put yourself out there. They might look at you, but that's not why they're gonna gravitate towards you. They're gonna gravitate towards you because of your energy and your message. So be committed to your message, please, because there's nobody out there that can do it quite like you. No makeup, no fancy clothes are necessary. You can do that if you want. If, I mean, if you want to, go for it. That's just not me, and I'm just trying to show you authentically what it takes to get yourself going. It's not always gonna be easy. It's not always gonna be perfect. You're not always gonna be inspired, but you gotta just keep moving. Just keep moving, and these little these little phases and moments of anxiety, they're gonna pass, and you're gonna be glad that you kept moving. So, okay, um, hope you're having a better Saturday than me, and I'm getting to my email list right now, and maybe I'll check back in later, but just stay encouraged, okay, people?